know where there's some. Right here in the hall, clerk.
No, Molly, not in there. I have
Some of you may be wondering what movement this is. And you can tell apparently by the inscriptions on the side of the motor. And I'll have to look these up. These are, I think they're all in here. So this says H3 HNK, then it says top, and then there's another number, what is that? M2317, and then the next line is 8.6 RPM, 60 cycle, 265. Is that 8? Yeah, it still looks like 8.6. So all of that information tells us which kind of rotor that has in here. I'll look it up and put it up on the screen. Right now I don't care because I'm not going to take this apart. What I am going to do though is follow the Electrifying Time book's recommendation on how to lube it. And again, what they say to do is put this in steaming water until it's too hot to touch. Then you immerse the whole thing in a baby jar full of oil. What I'm going to do is put it in a broiler. I'm going to steam it till it's too hot to touch. Then I'm going to put it on a towel right here, and I'm going to drip oil in here because I have read that this point right here is the only place you can actually, that has an opening that will allow oil to be introduced, unless you drill a hole in the side, which again I'm not interested in doing. So I'm going to follow the Electrifying Time method. We'll see how that goes. Okay, here it is. It's too hot for me to touch. Let's see how warm it is. Cooling down fast. But we'll see if this will take some oil. This is synthetic clock oil I got from a place called Liberty Oil Products. Don't know anything about them, except that they offered this stuff. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Now, what I suspect the heat does is a couple of things. It, first of all, evacuates air that's inside here, so that when it cools down, it creates a bit of a vacuum and draws this oil in, the new oil in. The second thing it probably does is soften the old oil that's in this movement. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be absorbing any more than that, which may mean I didn't get it hot enough. I'll heat it up some more and we'll see. Okay, this is about 5 minutes in the steam basket and I really can't hold it. I'm a wimp. Ouch. 5. Anyway, let's try it again. The last time it took maybe 2 or 3 drops. One of the questions that no one can answer, as far as I know, is how much oil was in here originally. You don't want to put so much oil in there that it slows the veins down, in particular up here. And it will actually slow the clock if there's too much oil in there. So how much is too much? How much is just enough? An unanswered question. I'd probably put at this point 10 drops in here. None has flowed out. It's all gone inside. Okay, it stopped again. So that's probably, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe as much as 20 drops of oil. We'll let that sit for a bit, see if any more soaks in. Seemed like when I moved it, it absorbed a bit more, so there may have been a bubble of air in there. I saw one reference to, instead of heating it in a steam basket, heating it in a toaster oven or some such. No reason that wouldn't work as well, I don't think. Point is to get it hot. Don't put it in a microwave. Yeah, it's still taking oil. Okay, we're down to the point where I think I want to stop. We'll see how this performs, if it performs. Before I put the motor back in, I'm going to put a drop of oil on the pivot points. And there's one right here. And there's one right there. I don't know if you can see either of those. Let me get the light over here. Okay, the first one I did was this one, and the second one was that one. And none others are readily apparent on this side. So I'll turn it over, pick up the pivot points on this side. And there's one there. One there, one there, and one there. These broader shiny pieces are just where these standoff posts have been brought in. And then I'll wipe off the excess oil, because excess oil just gathers dirt. And by this time enough has gotten down into the joint or the pivot point that they should all be fine. And there's one right here too for the where the hands go. And I'll get that right down through here. And then there's one over here I can see. And that should be pretty much it. Okay. So I think I've got all the pivot points lubricated. Now I can put the motor back in. spread these stators apart. The gear goes back in that hole right there. Come on now, cooperate. Like that. There. These close up. The standoffs for these have a little hold down that holds the motor down, which is probably a good idea.
And a long screw in. Tighten this up a little bit. There. And same thing over here. Oh, the motor came dislodged. Yeah, it's okay now. And the other standoff goes right here. And again holds the motor down. And we'll start the screw.
Make sure the hold down is actually holding the motor.
That one is. Tighten these two guys back up.
Okay. And we apply power right here, right across this this energizing transformer right here. All right, I've hooked a couple of alligator clips to the motor coil, energizing coil, and they go over to my connector block on the AC cord. This is going to go over here to my outlet, which is off, and then I'll turn it this way and we should be able to see or hear the motor running. We'll see. Oh, I can see it turning. I can't hear it. That's amazingly quiet. Right down in here is the gear. And if I can get my hand to hold still, you can see it turning. Very good. What I'll do now is let that run for, I don't know, half an hour, and make sure that the oil that we did introduce into the case gets to everywhere. I'll leave it like this for a while, and then I'll turn it that way and so on, just to make sure that oil gets everywhere. But the clock is running. That's cool. Talk about a bulletproof design. Amazing. So I'll leave this right here and check back in a little bit. Okay, it's time to put the hands back on here and the dials and everything. I have two sets of instructions, one from the writers, which I went through several times and it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And it might be because this is actually a slightly different mechanism than what I have in front of me. So I'm saying that's what it is. The one that did make sense to me was the electrifying time instructions, which I'm going to follow to do the reassembly in the order in which things are done. First thing that goes back on is this cardboard insert that sits right, lubrication points and screw mounting points. I had a moment of panic. I saw this empty hole right here and I thought, oh, did something fall out? Did I break it? But no, there's nothing missing. Okay, so that goes on first, and then the dial plate goes on top of that. If I can get it in my hands. Like this. Actually, the first thing to do is well, I'll leave that on there. It's handy. See, the first instruction is to move the alarm knob slowly until I feel and hear the alarm switch click. So I'll put the handle back on for that. You'll notice right here that the alarm shaft slides back and forth. It's only engaged when it's out toward the user, if you will. When the alarm is set and you don't want to accidentally change it, you push it back in, then it doesn't do anything. So this comes out here. The arrow says it only goes counterclockwise, so we turn this until we feel and hear the alarm trip. I wonder if there's a place to see that. Well, let me turn it until I see if I can find it first. It'll take quite a few turns of this, I expect, since we're going all the way around the dial. There. I don't know if you heard that. I'll put the microphone right here and do it again. See if you can hear that happen. There. And see, the way to make sure that it is set is to try to turn this backwards, and it should resist. Yeah, and it resists right there. So it doesn't want to turn the other way. So that's tripped. Put the alarm wheel and then it says put the alarm and then the hour hand on. We don't have an alarm hand, we have an alarm wheel. And both of those need to be pointing at midnight or 12 a.m., depending on your perspective. And right now that's toward this knob. So we'll turn this around until there's a marker right down here too. This line right here. And that goes on the 6 of this dial. At the same time, the 12 points up here. And this should just press on. Like that. And that's in place. Then the hour hand goes on, pointing in the same direction. That's this guy. Place that on there. Same thing. Line it up as best we can. Press fit. It's a press fit. That's right there. And now it says to move the alarm hand to 2 o'clock. The alarm hand is the alarm wheel. Move that to 2 o'clock. I'll turn this until what? The 2 is pointing straight up. Seems odd. Okay, we'll line the 6 up right there. Move the time set knob until the alarm trips. This is the time set knob back here. And we'll turn this until the switch trips again. And that should be right there at 2 o'clock. Yeah, so the hour hand is actually past 2 o'clock. If the hour hand reaches 2 before the alarm trips, you can hold it there while continuing to turn. Oh, all right, so we'll do this all over again. We'll keep turning it. We know it trips after 2 o'clock, so we can just hold it in place. It says when the pointer points at 2, just right here, then hold it and keep turning this knob. There. And I heard it trip. So that's correct. Put the minute hand on, pointing at 12. Oop. Same as before. Okay, that's on. And then put the second hand on, and it doesn't matter which way that points, they say, but I'll line it up with all the others. I'll line it up with the minute hand, I should say. Up there. And that's done. We've reassembled the clock. The next thing is to put this and everything else back into the case. So we'll start working on that. But that's the clock. It'll probably be the next video to have it all back together.
Grand Slam Cash.
Grand Slam!
Win $1,000 in Grand Slam Cash on 620 Rip City Radio.
Grand Slam!
Keep listening for the keywords to enter on our website.
Grand Slam! Coming round the mountain!